All right. All right. Let's have us a little talk.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
I'm only talking to you because I care about you. I mean, it's just me and you. This is all love. Let's talk about Jalen Duren because man, oh man, have I gotten messages. Jalen Duren. So I gave my thoughts on Jalen Duren actually quite a few videos ago. Some people have asked me to do a video on him, and I guess I'll do another video, but I've already done one on Jalen Duren, and I gave my thoughts then, and my take is still the same. So first and foremost, before we get into my take, let's go ahead and go into who Jalen Duren is, okay? Not personally, just like as a player. So he is something that the Spurs need. Obviously, people talk about how we need a big man, we need a center, we need somebody who can be a presence in the middle of the paint, and he's definitely a presence. If you want to know a little bit more about his playing style, what type of player he is, well, he is more, in my book, how I would see it, is he's more of a lob city finisher. He's a guy that you kind of just throw the ball up in the paint, or, you know, in fast break situations, and he will slam it. He will destroy the rim. He is a nasty boy. And also with his defense, he's a very good defender at center. So he is a solid core big man. But I do have some contention with him. Like it's some things that just bother me, and it's a big reason why I wouldn't necessarily take Jalen Duren with the 9th overall pick. But that's just me. So let's go ahead and go into his stats really quick. We did this before, but 12 points, 8.1 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 59.7 field goal percentage. If you're wondering if he has any type of outside shot, no. He can't shoot threes. He can shoot mid-range decently well, but that's more of a kind of spot up mid-range. He doesn't put the ball on the floor too often, and when he does, it's not a great result. But overall, for what he is an athletic center that can get to the paint as far as lobbing it up to him, and he's a very good defensive and rebounding presence. So he's strong as well, 6'11", 250, and if you look at his frame, his body frame, he is basically just bullying people as far as college. He's much bigger than a lot of people. Now, here's my problem though. I don't think drafting Jalen Duren really helps with what we need necessarily. I understand where a lot of people are coming from, that this is a player that we need us a center, but that's playing position. I think that there's other big men in this draft that's a little more versatile. Now, the only way that I would think that grabbing a Jalen Duren is necessary or makes a lot of sense for us right now is if we're already convinced that we have our James Harden, in which, yeah, you grab a Capella and he really helps. Or that we have a Steve Nash, in which you get you a Amari Stoudemire and you're ready to go to work. But I don't necessarily think we have those things. If I'm just being completely honest, I do not think we have these things. Now, I think Josh Primo will eventually become that, but I'm not necessarily 100% comfortable with putting all my eggs in one basket and saying, okay, let's just get a lot of guys that will be able to play around Josh Primo. I don't think that that's necessarily a good idea, especially when we're still waiting to see what we get out of Josh. Now, don't get me wrong, his assets, everything that he has as far as his attributes, I mean, and everything that he can do as far as find guys on the court, he should gel with a Jalen Duren. But at the same time, he has the type of skill set that I could see Josh Primo gel with almost any type of player. If you get him another player that can kind of shot create, okay, maybe you got you a Dame and CJ McCollum situation. And if you can get him a guy that's a big, like Jalen Duren, that, you know, more of a lob city finisher, defender, okay, maybe you have you a little bit of a Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash situation. Or, hey, which would be even better, and this is what I want, a Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton situation. So he could match with almost anybody. I don't see him necessarily going, even if he wasn't on the Spurs, going to any team and not really being able to adjust to whatever they need him to do, because he's a Swiss Army knife. I always say that, Swiss Army knife, Swiss. You get it? Swiss. Okay, yeah, that's besides the point. But overall, look, Jalen Duren is a very good talent. Don't get me wrong. He is a guy that a lot of teams are looking at, but I think overall, as far as what we need right now, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And And I think that some people are kind of jumping the gun a little bit because of his frame, because he's fun to watch, because of his defense, because he can posterize. And all those things are great. But at the end of the day, we're going to need somebody that's a little more versatile. We're going to need somebody that kind of shot creates. And I think that's the first step. Like, even if you're looking at somebody like the Golden State Warriors, for instance, right? Like, Golden State Warriors, they end up getting a JaVale McGee, in which I would say, not to say that Jalen Duren is going to be JaVale McGee. I'm assuming he will be a little bit better. But JaVale McGee, he's a guy that was a Lob City finisher, defender of the rim. But he went to a team that was pretty established with their shot creators already. And I think that that's kind of what we need to do. Take that first step, get that shot creation, and find out who's that guy, and then build around that. Right now, I don't think that we're necessarily in a situation where we can just put all our eggs in one basket. Now, I know that you guys love Jalen Duren, okay? He is a good talent. And anybody that gets him, I don't necessarily think that they're going to regret getting Jalen Duren. But at the same time, with the 9th overall pick, I mean, we got a chance at more than likely Terry Eason, which I would much rather have. Or Tari Eason, however you say it. I always forget how to say it. But there's quite a few players, all right? There's quite a few players that I would choose over. And we're going to go over all these players, so I don't want to really dwell on this. But overall, I was just trying to give my thoughts on this, on why I wouldn't take Jalen Duren. And I got quite a few messages surrounding around not just this tweet, but I think I mentioned it before, maybe on the Discord. And people have messaged me about this. So I'll just read this off because I'm sure you read it already, but just read it off. Jalen Duren is not who you want in the lottery. He's a solid player, but he wouldn't address our most glaring concern, shot creation. If you believe the Spurs only need a Lob City defensive big man, you're wrong. We need a dynamic scorer. We can't draft for position right now. And I feel like Jalen Duren would be the definition of just drafting for position. I don't care who we get. I'll be honest. I don't care who we get as long as he can get us a bucket. I just need me a bucket getter. Whether he's a point guard, shooting guard, small forward, I do not care. And I know a lot of people might think that that's crazy. We definitely just need a big man. And in my opinion, I think that you could get a big man later on in the draft. If you're going to go for a core big, just go for a different core big. But not only that, we're going to try to go after DeAndre Ayton. I already know this. Like, we all know this, right? And we're going to have some chances, maybe even at Zach LaVine. So I would just kind of hold my horses a little bit, and I would go into this draft and just say, whoever's the best player available, I'm going to grab you. No questions asked. And I really do think Brian Wright is going to do that. Even in this previous draft, when he grabbed Josh Primo, he was drafting off of upside. And I think he's going to do the exact same thing. Jalen Duren looks great in college right now, but just keep in mind that even as great as he looks with his frame and everything, when he gets in that post and he needs to make some post moves, he can't create his own shot. And I'm sure he'll get better than that. But as I say all the time, dude, I say this all the time. When you're looking at players, at least this is what I do. I try to see, what is it that you do well? What is it that you do good? And then I say, okay, what would it look like if you maximize that? I try my best not to look at players and say, these are the things you do well. But man, if you added some ball handling to your game, if you added a little bit of playmaking, if you added some shot creation, if you added a nice little hezzy, if you added, I don't think like that, because I think that that's kind of a little irrational, and you're going to be way more safe seeing players see what they do well and just seeing them maximize those things that they already do well. That's why I'm high on Josh Primo, but at the same time, that's in the other side of it, that's why I'm not that high on Jalen Duren. He does a few things that's very well, but the things that he really would need to be good at, I don't know. But you guys let me know what you think. I do like him. It's not like if the Spurs take him, I'm just gonna be so angry, like, why did you grab him? That's not necessarily true. If they grab him, I'm not gonna be angry. I'm gonna understand why, but at the same time, I'm really gonna be banking on the fact that Josh Primo, they really do believe Josh Primo is about to make that next step. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts on it. You guys let me know what you think. I'm sorry I babbled a little bit. I get kind of ranty sometimes. I'll give it to you guys later. Till next time. Deuces.